We need that here for the next couple of days. It's going to stick around, at least for most of us. But yeah, the temperatures are definitely going to be high over the next couple of days. But unfortunately, that allergy count, the pollen, it's also going to be a little high. It's definitely out there today. I know a lot of you are feeling it, but outside of that, it is gorgeous outside. We've got lots of sunshine. You can see that from our cameras, part of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. Nothing but blue skies. Can't find any clouds out there right now. Eventually, that will change. And in fact, we even have some rain in parts of the forecast for parts of the state here over the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and go to Links 1 and talk about that allergy index. So again, it's the tree pollen and the weed pollen that are in that high category today. Spores, mold, that is in moderate category. So there's a lot going on out there. But again, temperatures are also pretty high. Today, we're expecting a temperature of about 84 degrees at the Oklahoma City airport. If we were to hit 86, that would tie the record set back in 1980. Now tomorrow, temperature's still very warm, but going down a few degrees. So forecasting a high of 80 degrees, but the record is actually 87, set back in 1980. And it's still a possibility. It really depends on the timing of the cold front tomorrow afternoon or where we're actually going to end up. But today, it's just gorgeous. We do have a little bit of a wind, though. That's coming in out of the south at 16 miles an hour. This is our National Cowboy Museum camera, part of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. So we're already sitting at 80 degrees. So we're clearly going to make it into at least the low to mid 80s later this afternoon. We do have a weak stationary boundary across the north and west. So temperatures kind of isolated where it's a lot cooler, only the upper 50s and parts of Alfalfa County, but 68 degrees in Alva, 75 though in Ponca City, 72 in Enid, while we in the meantime have lots of low 80s across the south and low 80s all across central Oklahoma. Combine that with the south wind today between about 10 to 20. From time to time, we're seeing some isolated wind gusts a little higher than that, but the big picture overall, it's pretty quiet, at least for the central and southern plains. But we've got a boundary to the north, and eventually as we get into tomorrow, this boundary is going to move through as a cold front, but I think that's going to happen pretty early on in the afternoon, but it's still going to be pretty warm. The cooler air, that's going to lag behind. That's not really going to be moving in until we get into Thursday. In fact, on Thursday, we actually have a chance of rain. Now, the chance of rain is not looking all that great at this point for Oklahoma City. I think the chances are starting to come down a little bit, but for southern Oklahoma, especially the southeast, it's looking a lot more likely. So that's some great news, at least for parts of the state. But for the rest of us, it could be a while before we get a decent chance of rain. As we get into the weekend, the rest of the weekend looks fairly cool. But by Sunday afternoon, it's starting to look a little milder. Temperatures climb into the 60s. By the time we get into next week, temperatures don't move a whole lot. Generally, we're looking at 50s and 60s with a slight chance of rain here and there, but I don't see any big time storm systems on the way. So tomorrow, this cold front, it will be pretty significant. But again, the cooler weather is not really going to come in until we get into Thursday. So about lunchtime, that's when the cold front starts to move through central Oklahoma, or at least around I-44. But eventually, yes, that wind's going to shift to the north. By the time we get into Thursday afternoon and evening, most of the data now trying to keep most of the rain across southern and southeast Oklahoma. But I still got about a 30 to 40% chance that we at least get something here in the metro. I'm just not expecting a whole lot out of it. Today, though, looking for a high of about 84 degrees in Oklahoma City, the mid and upper 70s across the north, mid to upper 80s across the south, and then overnight tonight dropping down into the mid 50s. We're going to stay mild and breezy. The exception really being the far west, the low 40s around Clinton, 45 in Woodward, and the upper 30s around Guyman. Tomorrow afternoon, here comes a cold front, but again, it's still going to be fairly warm, especially earlier on the day. So 80 degrees in Oklahoma City, while we're looking at upper 50s, low 60s across the north and northwest. Lots of low to mid 80s across the south. Thursday afternoon, though, it's going to feel different. Mid 50s in Oklahoma City with a north wind between 15 to 25. So kind of a shock to the system. But for now, 40% chance of anything happening in Oklahoma City, but it's certainly going to be a lot more likely across southern and southeast Oklahoma with another slight chance of rain Friday night. And then we've got Veterans Day Saturday and also our Bob Mills weather event. Lisa, back to you.